Well, I was raised in a house where we went to church every Sunday, and we were taught that God is love and God loves us, and therefore we should love everybody. And even though I grew up at a time when LGBTQ identities were not really spoken of in a serious manner, folks who were LGBTQ were sort of caricatured on television and sitcoms and so on. Person who worked in the religious sphere for most of my adult lifetime, I have noticed that people stumble over their biblical interpretation. And whereas I see the Bible as this wonderful, living, breathing document that tells us over and over again that there is hope and God loves us and we can work together and build a better world with God, many people see it as kind of an imprisoning thing, that these what I call clobber passages all through the Hebrew and Christian scriptures are there to restrict person's freedom and restrict people's humanity. Got to know Oklahomans for Equality before Norman, which would have put me in the early 2000s, watching this place grow from a pretty small outfit to the great enterprise that it is now. And I knew it as a place of great support, but I was never really super involved in things over here, I guess until after Norman, when I moved back to Tulsa. Serving Thanksgiving that year, don't ask me what year it was, but my sister was not able to come home because she was on the national tour of some Broadway show or the other. And so she was in parts far-flung, and my mom and dad and I decided that we were not going to have a Thanksgiving dinner at our house and just have it be the three of us sitting around saying, well, nobody ever had any kids, and all of our relatives that could be here live too far away. Let's make it a fun time. And so the three of us came down here and we served. I feel like, for one thing, it's sort of sad that if you do the right thing and are kind and loving and welcoming to people, you get an award for that. That ought to be basic. That ought to be bottom line. But I also feel like I could have done so much more, and I've not always been the most vocal advocate. I've tried to lead by demonstration, I guess, rather than being super shrill or super politically involved always. But it's a wonderful honor for me, and it makes me feel like, oh, somebody noticed those 7 years especially that I was in Norman, Oklahoma, as one of the 2 United Methodist congregations that were officially open and affirming of LGBTQ plus people. We were really out on a limb at that time because we were standing in defiance of what our standard rules of the Methodist Church were.
I knew Russell Bennett. I knew him as a bicycle customer to my dad's shop, which was across the street from Russell Bennett's Church Fellowship Congregational, which Chris Moore now so aptly pastors. Reverend Bennett was a real role model to me. His son was a classmate of mine at Booker T. Washington High School and was one of the most brilliant kids that I ever knew. Russell Bennett died too soon, and he left behind a huge legacy. So to receive an award with his name on it is a pretty big deal for me. I want to thank everyone who's at my table tonight. My mother, my stepfather, Jim Calderwood, my sister Kathy, and all of my friends from various parts of my life who've chosen to join me